Okay, so I finished taking that assessment, but I'd really like to know how well I did. And if I remember right, I think I remember it saying that I had an unlimited number of times to take that assessment within the context of the beginning and end of the course. So how do I go about retaking that assessment? Or at the very least seeing my feedback? Well, to do that, I can do it in two ways. I can either go and access the feedback so far as the grade is concerned inside the My Grades area in the course. So this would essentially show me possibly a comment by the instructor if they've left one, or just perhaps the automatic graded score that the assessment gets. This is all dependent upon how the instructor sets it up. If you're taking an assessment that has multiple choice true and false and very discrete answers, in other words, ones that can be auto-checked, then those are going to get auto-checked and you may possibly get a score at that point in time when you're done taking the assessment. It's all dependent upon how the instructor sets up the course. If, on the other hand, the assessment also has open-ended essay questions or short answer questions that probably need an instructor to look at or a TA to review and then provide a score, then it may take a little bit longer for you to see that score. In any case, let's do one method first and then the other. First, let's go and look at the test and quiz itself to see the feedback. To do so, I'm going to select the Test and Quizzes link in the course navigation, and here I see a Take Assessment area and a Submitted Assessments area. So these are essentially the assessments that I can take. Now you may see some of these assessments here and know, oh, I can take multiples of these assessments, or I can just take the one. It all depends upon how your course is set up with your instructor. Below, I see that there are a Submitted Assessments area, or there's a Submitted Assessments area, and I can see that I took the sample quiz. I can see that it recorded my highest score. I've only taken it once, so that's my only score. And then I can also see a link here for feedback. Now, keep in mind, not all courses are set up exactly this way, but this is a way that the course could be set up. Your instructor may be waiting for another time, perhaps even in class or during an online synchronous session, to provide sort of general feedback to everybody and maybe provide another opportunity for people to take the assessment. In this case, I just simply want to click the feedback link to see how well I did. I know I got a 6.5, but that 6.5 doesn't really tell me how well I did on the things that I didn't get right. I know the assessment was out of 10 points, and so I missed some, so I want to know what I missed. So I'm going to click on feedback, and the screen will basically bring up the assessment as I took it. So I remember that in the first question, I was asked a particular year question, and I answered this way, and I see that there's a red X next to my choice, indicating that I got it wrong. Here I can also see that this particular assessment shows me that the answer key is there, and then I've been provided some general feedback so that I can improve how I understand the concept of this particular question or answer. I can scroll through the rest of my assessment looking and seeing, oh, there are green check marks in places that let me know I did well, and additional feedback in this case. I can also see that there's other places where I got green check marks and X's, where in this case I think it was a matching question, and I got some of the matches correct, but I missed one of them. Further down, then I can also see that there's other questions, and I can review my content and feedback there. I think I might want to take the assessment again. So how would I go about taking the assessment again? Well, I can either go right back into the unit where I saw the link initially, or if the Test and Quizzes area is open to you, then you can simply click on the Test and Quizzes area and then select the title of the quiz that you'd want to take. Doing so will take you back to that Begin Assessment page where you can begin taking the assessment once more. But what about your score? How could you find out what your score is? I know my score is here from the feedback section, but is there any other way to know your score? Yes, there is. If the instructor has set it up this way, you may also be able to go to your My Grades area and see your score there. And this is all dependent upon how the instructor has it set up. In some cases, instructors will set up quizzes so that you can see the score as soon as you submit that assessment. In other cases, instructors may set it up so that they have a particular date in the future that all the scores are released and made available to students. It's all dependent upon how individual courses are set up. In this case, I'm going to select the My Grades area, and when I go there, I will see all of my grades for the course. In fact, I see the sample quiz here, and I've got my score there if I want to look at it. So that's how you can review the feedback and how you can take an assessment again inside of a course site in Sakai.